Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, know nothing, control everything. Appreciate you for tuning in live, listening in the replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live and listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 560. How to reclaim your birth certificate, recording by Trust Christian in the vault. Always appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to the replay. Definitely want to do this episode. This was an episode that comes to us for many years now on how to reclaim your birth certificate. Sometimes the truth hurts, ladies and gentlemen, when we start out this episode. This isn't financial advice or legal advice. This is to posit a question to the many of listeners, people that reach out to the vault. This isn't to sour or spoil people's uh, ambitions. And this is one of those episodes to really give clarity on the situation, to have a candid conversation. So trust Christian, own nothing, control everything. We've already been through the process of how to reclaim your birth certificate. What's the benefit of it? What's not the benefit of it? We've had trustees ask these hard questions because they've been given some misinformation over the internet by these people over the internet, saying that there's some type of account that you can utilize if you reclaim your birth certificate that's going to help you pay off debts and things of that nature. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so we appreciate you all for tuning in and giving us the ear for this particular episode. May not be easy to listen to, but Trust Christian Involved is going to do our best to give you a quality listen from the perspective of the vault, knowing that we've already gone through the process and what it really looks like. And so here we go. Appreciate New York for tuning in live, listen to replay. You can feel free to type into the chat where you listening live or listening to replay from. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live and then types in where they're actually listening from. Let the listeners know people are listening from around the world, not just Trust Christian just pushing out content over the internet. It's a little bit more than that, a lot more than that. So how to reclaim your birth certificate. This is a question that comes up in consultations, especially people we could read over email. Over email, we could type into the email the search right now, birth certificate, and how many people reach out and think that because someone over the internet told them that basically the birth certificate is a security instrument because it has this QSIP number on it and all this other stuff, that people are now versed and able to say, well, it looks like the government's trying to steal my name, or it looks like the government's making money off my name, regardless of me being aware and me benefiting from that. And so that's where the first fall is that they fall into a beneficiary. But this episode isn't about that. This episode is about the fact that they want to reclaim their birth certificate or a birth certificate that was created when they were born, and they say reclaim it by authenticating it. It's the same thing. They say, "Oh, I'm gonna reclaim it because I'm gonna go get it authenticated to make it a valid document," knowing well that they've done business with that instrument, that birth certificate, and they didn't need to have it authenticated. They've gotten driver's license. They've gotten various different assets, other instruments, based off the fact of having that one instrument, whether it's authenticated or not. So this is one of those episodes where we have to really have that conversation of, okay, once you get it authenticated, and just the cost of that process. Oh, well, let's go off the premise that there is no money, so it's a instrument, it's a security instrument. Government created it. Okay, do you have to use it? Do you have to use that instrument? That's the first question we could get to trustees or people that are reaching out to the vault when they ask about this subject matter. Oh, well, Trust Christian Vault, the government, they have the instrument, it has a QSIP number, and they're trading it privately and making money off me, making money off the instrument. So the question is it a public document or private document? We have these conversations with trustees weekly. Is it a public document or a private document? Oh, well, that's where they get here first. Cause the trustees and the people that reach out to have this information, they don't have all the information. Is it public or is it private? Okay. Well, you got me there, Trust Christian Vote. The birth certificate deals with the public. Right. So are you the beneficiary or the trustee? Are you the officer of the entity or is the government? Then we get people coming along, well, I'm gonna make the government the trustee. And what are you gonna be? The beneficiary. And that's why you're paying taxes. That's why you're dealing with a personal tax liability. Simple. How do you reclaim your birth certificate? Oh, well, Church Christian Vault, the government, they gave me the de facto copy. I got the de facto copy. That's any term they could use that they heard through the internet gurus, but they're gonna go to the de facto government to get it authenticated. You want to go there? Let's go there, Moors. You're gonna go through the de facto government to get the document authenticated. That makes a lot of sense. No, it doesn't. Not from a private perspective. From a public perspective, it sounds very appropriate. It's something that there's a process called authentication because it is something for international purposes. Something obviously to say that you went downtown for sure. You got a ship downtown. Downtown is the DC. We got a ship there. We got the extra valid stamp of approval by the current whoever's in charge of authenticating. I want to say is the secretary, but you guys got to do it. It's been done so long ago that you could Google how to get the birth certificate authenticated. This is not private information. It's public information. It's just people sitting over the internet thinking that they can sell information to people or pie in the sky dreams about things like this. So, what is the benefit of authenticating your birth certificate? If you're gonna authenticate the birth certificate, is that gonna make any money for the individuals? Here you go. It's called the big fat zero. It's costing you money. It's not putting money in your pocket. Well, Trust Christian Evolve, if I get the birth certificate authenticated, I could put it in the trust. You think we wasn't going to go there? Once I get my birth certificate authenticated, you went possessive and said my birth certificate when it's a government document. So, well, I'm going to take the government document, the public document, and put it in a private trust. That's what they say all the time. They come on the line. I'm going to take my public trust. I'm going to take a public instrument, try to take it out of the public where it's in the public and it's able to do things in the public because it's made for the public because it was created in the public. Okay, so you got the public document trying to put it in a private trust. Hold on. Did you create the trust? That's what they say. I created the trust and I put the public. I had to get my birth certificate back. I had to get the claim to it. I had to put a claim on it. Nobody had to claim the government. They was taking me for prize and booty. I was abandoned property. My birth certificate was abandoned property. No one's claimed it. I got to put a claim on the birth certificate because it's abandoned property. This is what they say. They come online and say this. I got to put a claim on the birth certificate because the government by default has said it's abandoned property because I've never got it authenticated and did what? I didn't get authenticated and send it in with an affidavit, Trust Christian Evolve. You think we didn't hear it? I gotta send it in. I'ma send in this paper, that paper, that paper. I got about 4 or 5 papers together. I spent thousands of dollars. I got about an 80-page packet. I got a 20-page packet. Of what? Well, my birth certificate's been authenticated. I got some other I got a security agreement. You think they don't ask about this stuff when we talk about the UCC? Oh man, I wanna be in control of my public. See how you keep saying my? I wanna be in control of the birth certificate. Are you not right now? Well, yeah, but are you in the right position? Are you in the right standing? Are you doing business properly or is it personal? You taking it personal? You taking it personal in the public? So you got to get the birth certificate and reclaim it, doing authentication. So I go get the birth certificate authenticated, and then I'm going to take it and put it in a private trust. This is what they say. Now, if that makes sense, which it doesn't, then you see why most people don't execute. Did you create the trust? Did you create the birth certificate? The government created the birth certificate, but if it wasn't for me, there would be no birth certificate. The interesting part about the way the system works is is you could actually live in the system here. You think about it, ladies and gentlemen, you could change the name on the birth certificate. You could change the name. It's a legal name change. So when we talk about legal name change, is there a difference between your natural name and your legal name? Is there a difference between your natural name and your legal name? Hold on. Is it your legal name or a legal name? Because legal names are businesses. When you do business, it's called a legal name. What's the legal name of the business? That's what they say in the public. What's the legal name of the business? How do you reclaim the legal name in the public? I'm gonna go put out what is that? I'm gonna go authenticate it. All right, trust Christian vote. I'm not gonna put it in the private trust because that doesn't sound like it's the best thing to do. So, is it a trust? Is the birth certificate a trust, or is it just a document? Then most people aren't aware of what it is. Oh man, trust Christian vote. I gotta reclaim my birth certificate because it is a trust. It's a certificate trust. It's a debt instrument. What they say, it's a security. It's a bond. Okay. What position do you hold in the contract? Is it a contract? Can you state where the contract originated at? I'm gonna go get it authenticated because the guru said get it authenticated, but I don't really know the contract and how to operate within the contract properly. How do I operate within the contract? How do I operate with the birth certificate properly? Trust Christian in the vault. Is it my name, the upper and lower, or is it the all caps? Because that's what I see on documents, commercial documents. I see all caps on the commercial documents, but sometimes when I write mine, my natural name, your natural name. Did your natural name even sign the birth certificate? That's how you know where you fall in line with the contract. That's a hard reality, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, where do you fall in line with the contract? What's your role, responsibility, and duty? Are you a trustee? Are you the grantor? Are you the beneficiary? I thought it was a trust document. Oh well, I did a little bit of research over the internet. I found out that it was the Sesta K, whatever that is, Sesta KV. I did the research on the internet, and they still come with questions. Oh, is it just the definition that I'm not getting a grasp of? Is it that authentication doesn't mean that I'm going to make money? Does it mean if I put it in a trust, that means I'm not going to make money? So, where in that process did you add value to it? Did you add value to it? Did you grow the document? Did you grow the contract? These are the things we talk about in trusteeship since it's a trust and you're supposed to be the trustee. Because if you're the beneficiary, you're supposed to be waiting for distributions. So here we go. They say, oh, well, I am the beneficiary, trust Christian and vault, or the birth certificate. Right. That's why you're liable. Are you the beneficiary of the birth certificate? You're liable. Okay, here we go. You want to be in trust, right? Oh, trust Christian and vault. I want to be in trust because that's I gotta go private. This is like my life mission. I know that the wealthy people say that we gotta go private. Right? The gurus over here and say we gotta go private. The gurus over here and say we gotta be in trust. That's what they say, right? What title do you hold? Legal title or equitable title? Oh, Trust Christian the Vault is dropping the jewels. We know it. Are you holding legal title or equitable title? Ho ho ho! Did you? I gotta think about that because I wasn't trained in it, or I have a knowledge base in it. So I'm holding equitable. I'm holding an equitable position, but not the legal position. Who created the doc? Who's the trustee? Who's managing the contract? Appreciate Tampa for tuning in live, listen, replay. Always appreciate Tampa for tuning in live, listen, replay. Trust Christian involved. Is it even worth Reclaiming the birth certificate. Oh no, you sound doom and gloom. I don't want to just not put it in what is it? I don't want to end up broke. The government's making money off me. They say I owe a debt that I'm never gonna pay. Right. So when we talk about reclaiming your birth certificate, how to reclaim your birth certificate, all right, did reclaiming put money in your pocket? Oh man, Trust Christian Vault. Well, no, I'm gonna use it to discharge debt. You didn't think we was gonna go there? We're going there. You want to discharge your debt. So I want to discharge my debts because the government's already got this money. The company's already got this money. They got the money already, huh? Yeah, so everything's paid for. Oh, but you're still working every day. And most people are. Even wealthy people, surprisingly, are working to a degree. Wealthy people, quite a bit, love what they do. That's why they're wealthy. That's why we're wealthy. You love what you do, and in turn, it's no, oh, I'm gonna get something for nothing. See, we could pull on our one of our trust mentors, and he'll tell you there's no such thing. And when people operate from that concept, they don't do bid well. So there is no something for nothing. Oh, I gave the government my name, quote unquote, my natural name, and now they have my natural name and they're utilizing that for private, quote unquote, public transactions. They're hypothecating on my name. Keyword my. Well, name. Okay. Well, if you're gonna allow them to, well, if they're gonna hypothecate and you haven't collected on it, do you know of anybody that's done it? See, what the vault distinguishes itself is that we're learnable, teachable, and duplicatable. Everything that we do at the vault. Reclaiming your birth certificate. The authentication process is learnable, teachable, duplicatable. But how do you extract the money from the contract? This is a internet, internet behoovement. Oh man, I don't know how to do that. We gotta Google it over the internet. Yeah, because it's not a traditional process. If it was something that was traditional, which means for the masses and most people able to do, then it would be something that we would all have access to. That is a process. Oh, I'm going to extract some money off of this. Hey, there's a few far in between that have been able to do it, and the ones that have are quiet. See, we have to say this to the trustees when they come on the line or people come on the consultations. Why? Because they ask these questions. How do I extract capital from it? How do you extract capital? And not even how to extract capital. A lot of times it's how do I discharge the debt? Oh, I want to discharge this off the birth certificate. Okay, so you're going to create what? Debts now? Create debts. And then hold on. You're going to utilize a debt instrument to pay for a debt instrument. Is it an asset on deposit or is it a debt instrument? Well, hold on. Right. Which one is it? It's a security. They'll use all type of lines. This is this. First of all, have you talked to someone that's a securities agent? Because there's various security laws, and if it's a security, it will fall under those laws, right? Oh no, Trust Christian Vault. Don't tell me that. It falls under securities law. Didn't you just say it was a security? Oh man, you're right. So what securities law does it fall under then? This we're not having financial, we're not giving legal advice or financial advice. We're having a conversation. We want to know in the public if it's a security, what securities law does it fall under? Well, it falls under the traditional. Okay. So once again, us at the vault, we have relationships with securities agents, quite a few, and so ex-securities agents that have worked for the SEC. So we have great relationships with them. They can tell you very clearly how to go about doing that. If people want to get the birth certificate to where it can be a debt instrument, it has to fall into a proper classification. That's it. It's like when people are raising money. You can't raise money from people that aren't accredited to a certain degree. There's rules, capital raising rules, because when you're selling a debt, when you're selling a debt, there's rules. So if the birth certificate is a debt instrument, if it's a security instrument, it falls under certain securities laws. Oh no, Trust Christian Vaughn, I don't want to hear that because now I gotta go seek out competent counsel. I gotta find people smarter than me. Not I'm the smartest person in the room. So if you're the smartest person in the room with this type of information, we see why most people reach out to the vault and they ask about it. Because it's not a everybody information. Oh man, something's going on behind my back. Something's going on without me knowing. In the government, with the government name, with the birth certificate. Okay. Is it a legal name or equitable name? How do I reclaim my birth certificate, Trust Christian in the Vault? I'm trying to reclaim it. If I authenticate it, if I don't put it in a private trust, because that doesn't make sense. If I put it in the public trust, what public trust am I putting it in? Do I put it in my living trust because I went and got a living trust because I've been in this information? So I went and got a living trust from a guru. I went and got a living trust from somewhere. I went and created and drafted my own trust so I could put the document in the trust. That's what they say. Okay. So they put it in a document they created. Oh man, I gotta own nothing, control everything. Trust Christian. You're right. Are you in control of it right now? Yes, you are. And for that reason, are you doing it from a business perspective or a personal mindset? Because if it's business, it's business. If it's personal, it's personal. Well, they took my name, so I got to reclaim it first. And once I reclaim it, then what are you going to do? You going to keep using it? You're going to use that name in the public? Does that name have any value in the public? And then when people say, oh, it has value, does it only have discharge value or does it actually have like money, equity, position on it? And most people don't explain that, don't share that. So we know that they don't really think of it that way. They don't really think of the birth certificate as an equitable instrument. They don't come at us at that level. We would love to have an open conversation in the public with a securities agent that's aware of securities law and talk about that. But it's just one of those things that we shy away from because at the vault, when we talk about the birth certificate stuff, it's one of those things we're in the business of preserving and maintaining wealth. So for that reason, we're not in a position to be doing scheming and scamming for a birth certificate. Why? Because the value is not in the birth certificate. The value is in the actual transactions that are getting done. If no transactions get done on the name, then there is no value in the name. That's the facts, ladies and gentlemen. But if the value, if the entity, the name itself, whether it's on the birth certificate or not, if that individual puts value, equitable value on the name through transactions, through transactions for services, transactions for products of gifts that are being sold, things of that nature, there's value in it. Because what value does the paper have, even of the birth certificate side, just like what does the value of the paper fiat money have? Well, it has your faith. It's backed by your faith. And it's the faith of the other people that they trust that your paper is good. They're trusting that your paper is good. Good paper. How do you reclaim it? Uh, what do you do? Some people, if they stay this far in the episode, they're going to be blessed. I mean, we talk about liens. Like, how do you put a lien on it for the most part? Or a lien on a name that may look like the one you may be using in commerce or not. Because if you put a lien on the personal birth certificate name, why wouldn't you put liens on every business name that has businesses? So it's a very sophisticated process. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening, replay. You can feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com. Ask us that question. Feel free to get a consultation and go over that. But when you think about reclaiming it, is it putting a lien on the birth certificate? We could literally say that. How to put a lien or reclaim the birth certificate. If you think about that, like, what are you doing this for? I want to put a debt on a debt instrument. Is the instrument a debt instrument? Is the instrument just the instrument itself? Is it a security instrument? These are the questions that we would pose to the individuals that want to say, oh man, I'm going to go down this process of getting a birth certificate. And that's my only problem. I'm going through this process and I'm looking to get a birth certificate and authenticate it. And okay, how much value is that going to bring to your life? Oh, I'm gonna attach some silver coins to it. I'm gonna attach gold to it. I'm gonna say it's worth this much on paper. Since no one has a value and claim on it, I'm gonna claim that it's this much valuable on paper. Okay, that's fine. It's worth this much on paper. So how do you get that validated? Is it going through a securities exchange? People on the internet buying this stuff, they buying crypto. How you buying crypto but you don't got the faith in your own name? You don't got faith in the contract that you were birthed with. But they buying crypto. It's the same situation. They reclaiming a piece of paper, a name. Are you claiming that you have ownership or rights over crypto? Right. Is that something you can does it have value without you? No. Does it have value when you do something for it? Yes. It's a it's it's a dead piece of paper. That's all. That's it. And what's the point of reclaiming it? Oh, I want to attach some value to it. What about the businesses that you build? Do those have value? They may be separate from the birth certificate. Remember, when you private, you don't own anything. So when you don't, that's fine. Those names have the value now, not the birth certificate. What did they give? Oh man, the birth certificate. We saw one of the young brothers the other day. He said, when you look at the birth certificate for child support, it says the government owns it. Right. We're going to go ahead and say this. This is a harsh reality. If your name's not on the birth certificate, why would you be paying child support? If your name was not on the birth certificate, why would you be paying child support? Well, the reason why you're paying child support is because you claimed a name. You claim you have an interest in property. Oh, the government, they extracting funds out of me. Does that mean they own me? Well, did you say that you have an interest in that property for the child support? I didn't want to pay child support, Trust Christian in the vault. The system came after me. Right. There's also a claim in the public floating around that you have an interest in a child, in another piece of property. Oh, so I got to take my name off claiming the interest in the property? Who created the public document? The government. Did you sign on as an interest holder? Did you sign on as a liable holder? Did you sign on as a beneficiary of your child? If you sign on as the beneficiary, here you go. You're liable because you're the beneficiary of your child. What do you mean? I thought I signed it as the grantor. I thought I signed it in as a trustee. But why are you liable then? Why are you liable? Liable because you say you have an interest in something. Taking partial ownership in something. That's the way the system works. Do you own it or do you control it? You got to shake off the airs of ownership. Have we been duped? Maybe. It's not a duping. It is a public mindset versus a private mindset. You want to get in trustee training? We look forward to hearing from you. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you at the vault with a consultation. Whether it's you saying, okay, I found out that I'm not going to really do this route. It's already been costly, and what more value can I get out of it? Or we look forward to hearing from you for a straight up trustee training. Definitely look forward to hearing from you all. You can feel free to reach out, Christian at trustchristian.com, Christian at trustchristian.com. We do our best to share with people private lifestyle, private trusteeship. We actually have our next webinar coming up on April the 7th, so be on the lookout for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we definitely want you all to share this episode with your friends and family. Hit the like and the subscribe button because it's definitely important to share with you all the value uh, of how we're operating. And we look forward to connecting with you all in the private. Christian at trustchristian.com, and we're going to go forward from there. So definitely got a bunch of new episodes we're going to be bringing to you all, and we got the webinar coming up on the 7th. You'll see the flyer here soon. Reclaiming your birth certificate. As you all can see, we didn't deter anybody from getting it authenticated. At the same time, trustees are to grow assets and preserve assets. If it's a mindset of trusteeship and managing that as a trustee, perfectly fine. But when it comes to, will we go back to the ultimate thing that they got in the public, and this is why people think that they're a slave or something, is because they have a beneficiary mindset. If you have a trustee mindset, a manager mindset, you don't own it. You don't own anything. You just want to control things. Because that's what you really can do. And if you're not even just to not put the, oh, I'm a control person, it's a servant. Are you serving? Because when you're serving, you didn't own it. You see, when you own, you claim. When you serve, that's a position in a role. That's something that anybody can serve. But not everybody wants to serve. Where they say many are called, but few are chosen. You got to choose yourself to serve, not own it. Because some people, they by default, through the de facto, they've claimed ownership because of an emotional connection to it. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody tuning in live, listening to replay. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com.